Dictionary.
Okay, then will you admit that you're...
Yeah, look, if you can show me from a dictionary, we can,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, you know,
I'll have to find something.
I'm open to being wrong. I just want to be proved wrong
these
correctly.
discussions are very important. There are people watching out there.
Yeah.
And they deserve
I agree.
The best knowledge that is...
Yeah, if you can show me a Hebrew dictionary that can apply that word to parts, to relatives, then we can accept that.
Can you check Gesenius?
Who's that?
Gesenius was a Hebrew dictionary.
Okay. Right.
Gesenius. Gesenius. G-E-S-E-N-I-S. I think. Or N-I-U-S. G-E-S-E-N-I-U-S. I think so. That's Gesenius Hebrew dictionary. Yeah, there you go. Hebrew grammar. Okay.
Is that online? Is it?
Koreb.
Is that online or?
Or just put spelling Koreb. Hebrew okay.
So I think it's going to take someone to work.
I am claiming that one of the meanings of Koreb is relatives.
And you've claimed that.
And if that's true,
I tell you what.
If that's true, your argument crumbles.
Okay, let's settle it this way.
We'll move on to the next point.
Yeah, but let's just clarify. So if there is a dictionary out there that says it, great, you've won your point. If there isn't, you've lost the point.
Okay, let's.
Okay. And if there
I'm
isn't,
so confident. I'm so confident. I will let people do their research.
Okay, so would you be so confident to say that if the word kereb does not mean relatives, but it means in your midst or in your inner parts?
No, those are meanings.
Yeah, but if there is no other meaning than that, and your meaning is not found, would you accept your argument?
Then my argument.
Okay, cool. All right, let's move on to brethren then.
Then I'm saying that meaning is there, and if it's there, then people can actually look at it.
Let them look at it.
Q-O-R-E-B.
And what's the name of the dictionary that you suggested?
I don't know what the meaning of Koreb is in Gesenius. I want to check what Gesenius says.
You spelled it for the camera anyway.
Right, but have you found any meaning of Koreb? If you put Koreb, for example, Q-O-R-E-B.
Oh, let the readers do it, we'll move
meaning
on.
of Koreb.
Let the listeners do it and we'll move on. We'll move on to brethren.
Because to find meanings of words...
Because people need to do research anyway, rather than just listen to...
Now, next point is brethren. Okay, in the Hebrew language, what's the word there? I want you to read the word. And we're going to use the same method to read the meaning of that particular word. Okay, brethren. What's the Hebrew word there for brethren?
I think I got the wrong word. Hang on.
We're going on, we're going on for too long to address a very simple and straightforward matter. But if we have to go through this exercise, no problem.
Okay, so now it's the word ach.
Okay, as I said to you earlier, that
brother, definition brother.
Same word in the Arabic language.
Countryman.
Okay.
You know, fellow countryman, which is why the NIV translated it fellow Israelite.
Okay. And continue. What else?
It's got. You want me to read them all out?
Yeah, please.
Alike, another, brethren, brother with his brothers, brotherhood, brothers, companions, countrymen, fellow countrymen, fellows, kinsman, nephew, other, relatives, etc.
There you go. All these meanings, every single one of them supports my point. I'm saying, first question, are the Arabs directly related to the Israelites?
Ishmael was Isaac's brother, and he was Jacob's uncle.
Therefore?
So he was a relative. He was a relative.
Okay.
A distant relative.
Okay.
He was actually, and I think as well, when you look in the context, you've got the 12 tribes. We have to also remember that a valid option is that it's one of the 12 tribes which are 12 brothers.
Because my point is not about them. My point, I'm claiming that brethren here refers to the Arabs. Okay. I'm claiming that. Yeah, You're not accepting that, right? So you're saying
why do you say the Arabs? Where did you get the Arabs?
The children of Ishmael.
So what makes you think they're children of Ishmael?
The Arabs?
Yeah.
Because Ishmael was in Paran. Paran is Arabia. According to the Bible, Paran is Arabia.
No, Paran, I don't think Paran is Arabia. I think Paran...
I'll show it to you from the Bible.
Yeah, show me.
Okay?
Yeah, show me.
Okay. First, do you accept that Ishmael was in Paran?
I'd have to have a look, but...
Genesis 21.
Because I think there's a whole bunch of scholarship on whether or not the Arabs are actually
First, let us establish where Ishmael is.
There were lots of people. The Jews were in Paran, right? The Jews were in Paran. You had Christians in Paran. You had lots of people in Paran, right?
Okay.
It was so close to Africa.
I'm saying Ishmael was in Paran.
There. You had heaps of people there.
Okay, no problem. But we're talking about Arabs, right? Right?
Yeah, but what makes you think the Arabs, just because the Arabs are in Paran 600 years after Jesus, which is over 1,000 years after Ishmael.
Arabs
I mean, Ishmael is what?
Wait.
Ishmael is 2,500 years before Muhammad. How can we say that that's...
Are you aware of archaeology of Arabia? Are you aware of it?
Not a lot, no. Okay. I know a little bit, little bits and pieces.
The Arabs are there on Babylonian inscriptions.
Okay, no, yeah, but...
Okay.
No, I know a little bit. I know a little bit.
BC, before Christ.
Yeah, but the Babylonians actually refer to them as a mix of people from my memory of my study. Okay. And that they weren't it was a bit of a hodgepodge of things.
Show me where the Babylonians are.
Honestly, I don't know off the top of my head. You'd have to prove your argument too.
Inscriptions.
Show me your inscriptions.
Assyrian inscriptions that the Arabs were seen as bandits, right? Robbers.
Yeah.
People, okay.
Well, hang on. Does it say Arabs?
It shows Arabs.
You'd have to show me that.
Inscriptions.
Yeah, but you'd have to show me where it uses the term Arabs.
Google Babylonian inscriptions of Arabs. You will see right now. You will see Arabs.
Yeah, I want you to prove every point. I'm not going to give you an inch.
Okay, and all scholars are unanimous. This is a depiction of...
I don't think so. I've read arguments that there really was no certain... that really Arabness from what I've read on scholarship was created after Islam began.
I can see you have an attitude that anything I may present, you will not accept it.
Well, I want you to prove it.
I will prove it. But if I cannot prove something to you because you don't want to accept anything I'm trying to prove, how can I prove it?
Well, you would have to show me some evidence.
People out there, they have to have this attitude of acceptance that, okay, if something is making sense, it's reasonable, okay, let's
I just want some evidence of what you're saying.
Yes,
I don't want it to be just words.
I'm saying the Arabs were there before Christ. 8-7.
You can refer to the Arab. You can have inscriptions that refer to the Arabs as a people group, as a united people group, descended from Ishmael.
Okay. Now let me give
evidence of that.
Let's talk about the evidence.
Because Ishmael is thousands of years.
Let me give you the blow. You will not be able to respond to it.
Okay.
Open the Bible, please.
I got my phone.
When was Isaiah revealed?
About 700 years before Christ.
Okay. When was I saying the Babylonian inscriptions come from? Assyrian. 8th century BC.
I think you were saying Babylonians, but I think you meant Assyrians.
No, Assyrians and Babylonians.
Okay, right, both. Okay.
8th century BC. Assyrians. I'm talking about Assyrians. 8th century BC.
Yeah.
And Isaiah was revealed
about 700.
Same time,
BC,
approximately.
Yeah.
Book of Isaiah.
Yeah.
Chapter 21.
Okay.
Verse 13.
And it says Arabs, doesn't it? Let me just get...
We will see.
What verse? Oh, sorry.
Verse 13.
I'm going to get the chapter.
Isaiah 21 verse 13. 13.
Sorry, just getting it all together. Okay, it says, read it. Yeah, I'll read it to you. Yeah. A prophecy against Arabia.
Thank you. Stop there now.
So let's just look at that word. Let's look at that word, Hebrew word, Arabia.
Okay, good. A prophecy about Arabia in the book of Isaiah, which was revealed in the 8th century BC sometime on the prophet Isaiah. Same time I'm talking about when the Assyrians had inscriptions about Arabs. Okay, my friend challenged me on that. I have given him evidence from the Bible, and the Arabs are mentioned at that time in the Bible.
Okay, so the Arabs as a people are mentioned there in the Bible. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. So now
But where are they? Where are they dwelling?
Move on, can you accept that you were clearly mistaken on that?
Yeah, perhaps I was mistaken. Yeah.
Okay, now let's move on. Okay, so the Arabs are ancient and they are.
Yeah, seems like they're mentioned here.
Okay, now keep reading this very passage.
Okay, let me get
this passage will prove my point to you that Ishmael was in Arabia. Keep reading this passage. I will prove to you that this prophecy clearly refers to Muhammad. Not only this, even Deuteronomy 33:2 and Isaiah 42, the entire chapter is talking about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But those
a prophecy against.
So much time on this.
So this is a prophecy against the Arabs.
Okay.
A prophecy against Arabia.
Yes. And what's the prophecy?
You caravans of Dedanites who camped in the thickets of Arabia, bring water for the thirsty. You who live in Tamar, bring food for the fugitives. They flee from the sword. Sorry, just popped up. From the drawn sword, from the bent bow, and from the heat of battle. I think what it's saying is that.
Keep going.
Yeah.
I wanna lead to a point.
Okay, this is what the Lord. But let's just clarify what this is saying so far, right? So we're saying
not discussing that prophecy yet. That's a prophecy for Islam, by the way. But we'll continue. We'll talk about it another time.
Right. So
I'm trying to lead to a point.
This is what the Lord says to me: within 1 year, as a servant bound by contract would count it, all the splendor of Kedar will come to an end.
Okay.
Kedar, that's Petra.
No,
the survivors of the
Wait.
Yeah, it is. So when you click on it, it talks about the cleft of the rock. So that's clearly Petra.
Okay. Now, right. I mean, are you sure you want to go into that?
Yeah,
because
we're
going to spend another half an hour, and then we're going to come around half an hour later, and you're going to say, you know what, you were right.
You get 1 point right. You get 1 point right, and I humbly admit it. And you think that every point is right.
Petra was built by Nabateans. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
And who were the Nabateans?
Let's have a look. Kedar, the word Kedar. So the word.
Are you aware that Petra was built by Nabateans?
Look, I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure. I can't. Yeah, you have to give me a source for it. Okay. Go on. What's your point? Let's just go. Let's let you make your point.
If we stick to our points, then we can make some progress.
Okay. Let's stick to your point.
Is in Arabia. Do you agree? According to the book of Adnan.
Yeah, it seems to be on the face value of this passage that it's talking about Kedar in Arabia.
Seems to be. Are you sure? Seems to be. You just said seems to be.
Yeah, well, it mentions Kedar, but it doesn't tell us where Kedar is, right? So I'd have to look into that.
It's a prophecy about Arabia.
Yeah, but we're not told exactly where Arabia is.
Why is the Bible talking about Kedar in Arabia?
Well, it's talking about them being judged.
Okay, and where are they? According to this particular passage, where do you think Kedar is?
So Kedar seems to be in Arabia.
Okay, that's good. Who is Kedar now? Do you know who Kedar is?
It's the Ishmaelites, yeah.
No. Who is he?
Kedar himself. Oh, yes. Look, I'm not familiar with that. You have to tell me.
Let's go to Genesis 25:13. Let's go.
So you're going to go by the name of a city in Isaiah
don't jump the gun.
someone in
Genesis.
Just
help me so that we can finish this very quickly. Okay. Genesis 25:13. Genesis 25. I'll tell you who Kedar is.
Are these the sons of Abraham, yeah? Okay, which verse?
These are the sons of Ishmael.
Oh, okay, right, that's good.
Okay.
What verse is it?
13, there, in front of you, there, yes.
Okay, so they're Arabia, right?
No.
Yeah, these are the names of the sons of Ishmael. You're saying that...
And what are the names?
Okay, and probably Kedar, that's probably what
No. Can you read the verses? It's
I'll read it to you.
For yourself?
These are the names of the sons of Ishmael listed in the order of their birth. Honestly, you want to pronounce them?
Nebajoth, number 1. Kedar, then...
Where's Kedar? Sorry?
Kedar is there, number 2. Okay, and there are many more. Okay, 12 sons.
Yeah, that was my point.
Now, Kedar is in Arabia. We've already established that.
Yeah, it seems to be a city in Arabia.
And he is the second son of Ismail.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so where do you think Ismail was?
In Arabia.
Thank you.
But how do we know that Muhammad was descended from that?
Okay, now you're jumping to altogether another point. Remember, you made a claim that how do we know Ismail was in Arabia? Or Arabs are the children of Ismail, right?
Yeah, no, I want you to prove every point.
I've just shown you that, and so this is the second point you have been corrected on. Agreed?
Well, no, I was happy to accept it. As soon as you made, if it's the same point, as soon as you made that first point.
When I said the Arabs were generally speaking,
the
period we are addressing, 7th century BC before Christ, right? The Arabs were the children of, generally speaking, not all Arabs, of course, because they were outskirts, but these Arabs we are talking about in particular, Kedar in particular, is his children, they are in Arabia.
Yeah, but you know as well as I know that we are talking about thousands of years between these groups.
Wait. Paran is Arabia. This is the point I'm trying to make, highlight, because according to book of Genesis chapter 21, verses 17 onwards, Ishmael was left in Paran by his father. And then he had children. He got married in Arabia, he had children, and then 12 sons. Kedar is clearly in Arabia because his children are in Arabia, according to the book of Isaiah chapter 21:13, a prophecy regarding Arabia. So this is very clear now. This is why we connect Deuteronomy 33:2 to this prophecy in Deuteronomy 18:18. Why? Because that prophecy says, Lord came from Sinai. He rose from Mount Seir, and he shone forth from Mount Paran. 3 locations.
Yeah, but that particular prophecy is not talking about that particular prophecy. I've let you talk for ages, man.
I'm finishing
you just made another point.
I'm finishing right now.
Okay, you finish, right.
Okay. It mentions Deuteronomy 33:2 mentions 3 locations. Sinai, Moses. It's connected to Moses. Sire or Sa'ir in the Arabic mountain range in Palestine. Paran is Arabia. So 3 individuals. You do definitely accept Moses from Sinai. You accept
It's not
Jesus.
3 individuals. Let's have a look at the
3 locations, I said.
Yeah, 3 locations.
3 locations.
These are the locations that Israel traveled in the Exodus.
Okay, wait. I'm saying these are 3 locations, right?
Yeah.
Distinct locations.
Yeah.
And they are connected to 3 distinct personalities.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
They're the places that Israel traveled through the wilderness.
Okay. So what's happening in Paran?
We're pretty much ready to wrap up if you want to wrap up your point.
He's shown forth from Paran. Paran is Arabia, and he came with 10,000 saints. So what happened in Paran?
So you've given your argument about brethren.
How did Lord shone forth from Paran, from Arabia? What happened in Arabia?
Well, because Israel moved through there. The people of Israel moved through there and eventually into the promised land.
I mean,
through his people.
When you read the verse,
because
it says that he rose.
Let's have a look at the verse.
Okay, yeah, look at the verse, please.
What is it? Genesis.
Deuteronomy 33:2. What the verse is saying, there is.
And then once you finish your brethren, I want to make my points about
gradual elevation of the Lord, so to say. Yeah.
33.
It starts from Sinai, it goes further up in Sa'ir, and it reaches its peak in Paran. It reaches its peak in Arabia. So what happened in Arabia?
Okay.
Read.
So let's read this passage,
yes,
right?
Please.
This is the blessing that Moses, the man of God, pronounced on the Israelites before his death.
Okay.
He said, "The Lord came from Sinai."
You're reading the. Okay. Yeah.
And dawned over them from Seir.
Okay.
He shone forth from Mount Paran.
Yes.
He came with myriads of holy ones from the south, from his mountain slopes. Surely it is you who love the people. All the holy ones are in your hand. At your feet they all bow down, etc., etc. The law that Moses gave us, the possession of the assembly of Jacob. He was king over Jeshurun, when the leaders of the people assembled. Do you want to keep going, or is that what you want?
You wanted to read all of that. I'm concerned about one verse.
So it seems to me here that this is a blessing being pronounced over the nation of Israel.
Prophecy, right?
Well, no, it's not a prophecy.
Okay.
It's actually describing what's just happened.
Okay, what happened?
What's happened is that God has delivered. God has brought Israel out of Egypt through all these areas to the place where they are today, at the point of this writing, when they're about to enter into the promised land.
In the time of Moses, never made it to Arabia. Did you know that?
They crossed through. They crossed look, they crossed through the Red Sea, right through where that area.
Where did they go?
And as well, Arabia. You're thinking down the bottom where Mecca is, but Arabia is much higher. It can be all of that.
Okay, so Arabia is higher.
If you look at Arabia, let's just look at a map.
Is Mecca Arabia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but this isn't saying Mecca.
It's not saying Mecca.
It's just saying Didan, Kedar.
Okay.
You know, these places.
Wait.
Let's have a look. Where's Kedar?
Wait. I'll prove my point. Wait. Now you're saying Mecca is not Arabia. I'm saying Paran is Mecca. I'm saying that right now. He's standing in front of you.
Have you got evidence for that?
Yes. Go Genesis.
You want to go to Genesis now?
Chapter 21, verse 17.
And then the last point, because I want to give my argument as to who the brethren is.
Of course, I'm saying Paran is Mecca.
The
wilderness of Paran, which is being addressed in Deuteronomy 33:2, this verse is directly talking about Mecca.
Genesis
so what happened in Mecca?
Genesis what?
21, chapter 21, verse 17. What's happening to Ishmael? Tell us.
So God heard the boy crying. This is when they were sent to
God heard the boy crying. Read loud so that we can all hear.
God heard the boy crying, and the angel of the Lord called to Hagar from heaven and said to her, "What is the matter, Hagar? Do not be afraid. God has heard the boy crying as he lies there. Lift the boy up and take him by the hand, for I will make him into a great nation."
Okay. 21. Sorry, verse 21.
21?
Yeah. No.
While he was living in the desert of Paran, his mother got a wife for him from Egypt.
Okay, I want to address the point where it talks about the well of water that emerged as a miracle under his feet. Okay, this is what I want to talk about. It's there in chapter 21.
Wait, sorry.
Okay.
Verse 21.
No,
what are you referring to?
Not verse 21, sorry. Okay, yeah. Then she went, from verse 16, then she went off and sat down about a bow shot away, for she thought, I cannot watch the boy die. And as she sat there, she began to sob. God heard the boy crying, and the angel of God called to Hagar. Okay, where is the discussion on the well? Yes. The God opened her eyes and she saw a well of water. Verse 19.
Yeah.
Same chapter.
Yeah.
Genesis 21, verse 19. Then God opened her eyes and she saw a well of water. So she went and filled the skin with water and gave the boy a drink. Why am I mentioning this?
Yeah, why are you mentioning it?
You know the biggest source of water in the Paran Valley, the valley of Paran, which is usually called Hijaz. You know where it is?
No.
The well of Zamzam in Mecca.
Right, okay.
It hasn't dried. Okay, it hasn't dried to this day.
So that's
okay.
your argument as to why he's brethren.
Yeah. So
Did you want to summarize it?
Indicators.
Did you want to summarize that?
Absolutely.
And then I'll give my argument.
The well of Zamzam, the water that came out.
Because we don't want to give you all the airtime.
For Ishmael, was in the city of Mecca, is in the city of Mecca to this day. So Paran, where Ishmael was left, specifically where the water came out, was the valley of Paran, was a specific point, and that point is Mecca. Okay. So when Lord came from Sinai, rose.
There's a lot of assumptions there, but that's fine.
You can call them assumptions. I'm saying if this was about Jesus, the Christians would go to Scandinavia, then to Alaska, then to South America, then to Australia, and then come back to Britain to prove that it was Jesus, like you do with all the prophecies about Jesus, right? You use so many reasons,
can I ask you this question?
so many indicators to prove that it's Jesus, and we're saying directly these references are there about Arabia. Something's happening in Arabia. The book of Isaiah, the entire chapter 42 is talking about something happening.
You're going on to another passage.
No, we're not going to another one. I'm just mentioning.
You're talking a lot. I think it's time for me to say something now.
Okay.
I just want to ask you a quick question.
Why do the Christians forget
that
approach?
If you agree that the word brethren can mean the fellow Israelites
and the Arabs.
Yeah, but you agree, right?
Yes.
Why would you choose one over the other?
Good, very good
Just
question.
a short answer, a summary answer.
A fair question. Why? Because what the prophecy says otherwise fits in to the context of Muhammad, for example. For example, let me give you my quickly. So Moses like prophet. Prophet. Because it's not talking about Moses like person. Moses like
we've
human.
We've discussed what that means.
You asked me, so let me quickly clarify what I mean. His prophethood would be like Moses. Whatever qualities Moses came with as a prophet, as a messenger, this is what God is talking about, right? Now, no one brought a new law except Muhammad. Even Jesus did not bring a new Torah. Moses came with the Torah, a comprehensive law. Only Muhammad, who came from Arabia, from Paran, brought that comprehensive law. Okay, Muhammad governed as a prophet. So did Moses. He governed his people as a prophet. He implemented law. He punished people. He applied the law of God on his people. Okay,
very quick.
Jesus, no Israelite prophet ever did that after Moses. Okay, I mean,
Can I now share why I think? Can I now share why I think?
Let me quickly summarize my point. They did. David, Solomon, Joshua. These people did apply the same law, but the law was the Torah. Okay.
Sure.
Muhammad came with a new law, a revision of the law of God, which is foretold again in the book of the reason. I mean, the reason.
Now I want to give why I think it's talking about the fellow Israelites.
Sure, please do, and I'll let you talk for as long as you want. Right?
Thank you.
So in Isaiah 42, this law
is. Go to another one.
No. I'm trying to give you references as to why we believe, because comprehensively.
Yeah, but you've made your point. I think that's a simple point.
Last point. The reason why it is not another Israelite prophet like Moses, even Jesus himself is not like Moses in that sense, in the prophetic sense, because the prophecy remained unfulfilled, and Jesus himself.
I don't think so, but
Jesus himself denied being that prophet.
Okay, now my turn.
Yeah.
So
now, did you understand the last sentence?
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, he didn't deny being that prophet.
Okay, now that's the point we need to come back to next time.
Yeah.
In the next session.
Maybe another debate. The reason why I think it's fellow Israelites, first of all, is because within the context, if you look, that Moses is talking about the authority of Israel. So he talks about kings, and he says in chapter 17 that you shall not put a. I'll just read it to you. When it says in chapter 17, just the chapter before, when you enter the land the Lord your God is giving you and have taken possession of it and settle in it, and you say, let us set a king over us, like all the other nations around us, be sure to appoint over you a king the Lord your God chooses. He must be from among your brethren. Do not place a foreigner over you, one who is not an Israelite. So it seems very close here. The context seems to be talking about...
where is this you're reading from?
This is chapter 17, verse 14. So it's just the chapter
Okay.
before that it's talking about the
This
brethren.
is not connected
The
to it.
brethren. The second reason...
There's no connection here.
Well, yeah, because if you look at the overall context, it's talking about the authority within Israel.
So likewise,
hang on, I didn't cut you off. I'll let you talk.
Sure,
right?
sure.
So you had the kings, you have the Levites is also mentioned in chapter 18, the same chapter. But the other reason why it's talking about brethren is because, as I said earlier in the beginning of the debate, it's in your midst, in your inner parts. The word kereb, which is applied.
Okay, so give me a prophet like Moses.
Please.
In their midst.
In their midst. So when it says like Moses, the point that I made at the beginning, which you seem to have quickly forgotten about, is like Moses is not talking about any old thing like Moses. It's something very specific.
Yes.
The specific thing is that it says, the Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from among you, from your brethren. You must listen to him, for this is what you asked of the Lord your God at Horeb on the day the assembly when you said, let us not hear the voice of God or the Lord our God, nor see this great fire anymore, lest we die. So like Moses is someone who directly